I somehow managed to pull it out of the bag this month. I had 3 books roll over, so there's 3 books I didn't read in my that was in my TBR for this month, that I've rolled over to March, but I've still managed to read a fair few books.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. So for today's video, it is my February wrap up. I somehow managed to pull it out of the bag this month. I had 3 books roll over, so there's 3 books I didn't read in my that was in my TBR for this month, that I've rolled over to March, but I've still managed to read a fair few books. I think that's thanks to like audiobooks and stuff. So we're gonna get straight into it because I have 22 books to talk about and we could be here for a while. So the first one is Heroes by Stephen Fry, which I gave 3.5 stars to. This is an audiobook. As you know, I loved Mythos. Love this one too. I love Greek mythology. I love the writing of it. And it doesn't feel heavy like when you listen to it and when you read it because of the way it's written. Like when you read some Greek mythology, it can sometimes feel very heavy with facts and information and just feels like a lot that you're trying to take in. But with this one, it doesn't feel that way at all. It's really light and you can just naturally absorbing what you're reading. So it makes it a little bit easier to read that one. So yeah, I started off good with that one and enjoyed that one. I then read The Island of a Centuries by Elif Shafak, which I gave 5 stars. I freaking loved this book. I loved it. It had me crying, it had me laughing, it had me angry, it just had me everything. Any emotion you can think of, this book put me through. I highly recommend reading this book, guys. I really do. Like, this book talks about such trouble in times and such hard times for some people, like things they've had to go through in a society at a time that wasn't accepting, compared to what it is now. I mean, don't get me wrong, things still are not great, they're still not perfect, but they're nowhere near to what it was like here. And like, there was one scene that it literally broke me. It broke me, guys. It was to do with the LGBTQ plus community and it broke me. It literally just destroyed me. So I highly recommend reading that one if you haven't already. I hope. The next one I read was Secrets We Keep by Gigi, Lynn, which I gave 2.5 stars to. So this I read on audio. No, not on audio. An arc on my Kindle. That's how I get it right. I wasn't a big fan of this one. Hey guys, editing Sky here. I'm just refilming this clip. But for the Secrets We Keep, it's a good historical Regency book. Flowed well. The premise is good. But I just don't think this one was for me. It wasn't enjoyable for me. But I do highly recommend, if you enjoy historical reads and Regency books, then I do think you would like this one. It's just, yeah, unfortunately for me it wasn't my one and I won't be continuing the series, but like I said, the writing flowed, it was all smooth, but yeah, just not one for me. I then read What Moves Is Dead by Kingfisher, which I gave 3.5 stars to. I enjoyed it. It's a nice short one, nice and easy to read, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. It's just, for a horror book, it didn't have me scared to read it. It didn't feel very horror to me reading. And I don't read much horror, so like when I expect to read a horror book, I'm expecting to be like scared and maybe feel a bit sick, like to continue reading it, and I had none of that at all. Like, it did not give me horror vibes. which is what I think that's like the main thing that let me down in this book, was that it just didn't feel like a horror. Otherwise, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the plot of it. Thank you to Mystic Forest Crafts that sent me this book as well, as a random act of kindness thing for the holidays. And yeah, so that just, like I said, I enjoyed it. I probably would read it again because it's just so small. But yeah, it just didn't give me horror vibes to it, really. It sort of let me down a bit there. I then read Jennette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mum Died, which of course I gave 5 stars to. Absolutely freaking adored this book. It's so incredibly written. Jennette, you know, so brave to be able to put her story out there to the world like this, and to be so honest about it. Like, there are moments that are very graphic, yes. Do be warned, she is very graphic when she talks about some things, and she doesn't sugarcoat it. She tells you exactly what it is. But I think it was done so well, and yeah, I just thoroughly loved it. And if you haven't checked out her memoir biography yet, you guys need to go and check it out. Obviously, check trigger warnings. It does talk about like abuse and eating disorders and everything, so do just be warned if you do go into it. I then read the first Cruel Prince series. I'm not going to talk about this series too much because they are in a video, so you can see all my thoughts in that, but it was a 3.75 book for me. It's in the 24-hour reading vlog, so I will leave it up there for you guys. I then listened to Me Before You by Jojo Moyes, which I gave 5 stars. Loved it, freaking loved this book, adored it. I can't recommend it enough, honestly. Absolutely freaking loved it. If you haven't listened to it or read the book, highly recommend reading it. It's such a beautiful story. There is mention of suicide and like euthanasia and that, so do just be warned about that one as well. I then read that was a part of the 24-hour reading one as well, so my thoughts will be in that one too. Then I read The Wicked King in that vlog, which was 3 stars. Again, my views are in that one. You know how I feel. Wasn't a big fan. Not enjoyed it so much, but yeah. I then read The Queen of Nothing, which I gave 3.75 stars to. Out of those 3, I'd probably say this one I preferred a bit more. I felt like it had a bit more to it, and we got to see a bit more. We definitely got to see, I feel like, see a bit more of her and Carden in like a relationship sort of shape when, you know, she comes back and all that. But yeah, still not a fan of the series, and I'm sorry to anybody who is, but this trilogy was just wasn't my thing, unfortunately. I did then read in a reading my screen time video. I read How the King of Elfhame, How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. I actually gave 4 stars. I preferred this one to the trilogy. I actually prefer this one trilogy. It's so much shorter. There's like illustrations in it, so sometimes, let me find a picture one for you. Like, there's just pages that are just illustration. It's like a 170 page book, and it just like little bits about Khan's life and how he is and why and all of that. And I preferred this to the series. Considering how short this is, I felt this is way more well written than this trilogy. And you can hate me for all you want, I don't mind. This is just my personal opinion on a book. If you like the series, good for you, that's your thing. You like that, but I didn't, so yeah, I preferred this book. I then read in the 24-hour readathon, the reading screen time video, and I done a separate vlog for them, so my views and opinions will be in that video, which I will also leave linked. Yeah, and so we're next starts with this. This one was a reread. Still a 5-star book. Still absolutely adored it. highly recommend reading. Check trigger warnings. Then I read It Starts With for the first time, and I actually gave this one a 4.5. I actually didn't like this one as much. Obviously my views are in the vlog, so if you want to go and see why and my reasonings, go check out that vlog. That will tell you why I didn't like that one as well. Don't get me wrong, still loved it, would still probably read it again, but comparing it to the first book, I preferred the first book. So there's that. I'm hoping it's not going to topple on the other side of me. I then read, again in the reading screen time video, Manuscript Found in Accra by Paulo Coelho. Again, a really short book. Really short. Absolutely loved it. I gave it 3.5. I know I just said absolutely loved it because I did. It was interesting. It was intriguing. It was something different. I just wish... Chapters are very short, so it was a very quick read, and the writing is actually quite big as well, so you'll fly through it if you're going to read this book. It discusses a lot of good topics and a lot of good subjects that are good to hear and to listen about, so I do highly recommend reading it. My only issue was it keeps talking about a war that obviously we don't see. I just wish there was maybe a little bit more depth to it, if that makes sense. Like, we got to see a bit more of leading up to the war and after the war, not this one day between it, because that's all we see. We just see this like one day between it, and it's just that conversation that the whole like sort of village is having about things and stuff. So I just do wish we maybe had a bit more to it. So yeah, that one, it's 3.5 stars. I did just still enjoy it. Like, it's still good and I would still recommend it. I just wish there was more to it. I then read Brida by Paulo Coelho, which I gave 3 stars to, which again I read in that vlog, the 24-hour read-on. And again, this one was okay. It's very weird. A lot more of my views is in that vlog, but just know it's weird. And it's about witchcraft. That's all I can really say. It's about witchcraft and it's weird. So if you want to see more of my views on it, then I'd suggest going and watching that video, because this one, it just left me like a bit baffled. I then read again in that reading screen time vlog, Love on the Brain, which I gave 4.5 stars to, and I actually preferred this one a bit more to the Love Hypothesis. The Love Hypothesis I gave 4 stars, and this one I gave 4.5, so neither of them are 5-star read, but I did enjoy this one a bit more. I felt there was a bit more, I don't know what to say, I think I just felt a bit more story to it, if that makes sense. I felt like there's a bit more like happening around what's going on, and I enjoyed the fact that like in like the first 100 pages they register the fact that they're enemies and that they don't like each other. Do you know what I mean? That gets registered a lot sooner in the book, whereas some books won't leave it to like towards the end, but this one was the first start. We got to see it more of that and see more of the miscommunication in it, so I did enjoy that one more. But yeah, views and opinions in that blog, I will still leave it linked. I read a lot of books and videos this month, if you guys can't tell. I then read Everything I Know About Love by Dolly, which I actually gave 4 stars to. It was good and it was okay and I enjoyed it. There was something about the writing style of it that just didn't sit right with me. I think it's the only way I can put it. It just did not sit right with me. And it did feel very... the only word that's coming to my mind is arrogant. It just felt a little bit arrogant, like with the writing style. I'm not saying Dolly herself and everything, I'm just the writing style of it came across very arrogant. Don't get me wrong, there's some good moments, there's some good discussions in here, like there really is. And there's some moments that made me laugh and everything, but that I think is what let me down with this book. that, and it was a little jumpy. Like, you're going through the years, but then all of a sudden you follow in this timeline, and then you jump back to something else that happened a few years before, and then you go back again. Like, it didn't consistently follow a timeline. There's a bit of to and fro in, so I think that as well sort of put me off a little bit, but it's still a 4-star and I still enjoyed it. I don't think I would read it again. Oh, that's going to topple. Ooh, my pile of books almost toppled then. Let's move on quickly. I then read Early Morning Rises by Katherine, Heiny, or Heiny. 2 stars. 2 stars. I didn't enjoy this one. How I managed to get through and read it, I honestly don't know. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like the actual story followed like the synopsis and the plot that we get given. I felt it was very much more about everybody else and not their relationship. Like, it talks about a tragic accident that obviously leaves them stuck with each other, but one accident happens and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see they're stuck with each other like this, but you know, they're not actually necessarily stuck together. And then something else happens and then they are literally stuck together. But it's the way the bloke so sharply like does a U-turn on his thoughts and opinions. Like, in the first part of the book, he doesn't want to get married, he doesn't want kids, he doesn't want any of that. He wants to be a bachelor. Like, he wants the good life. And then and then when that second accident happens, all of a sudden he wants marriage and he wants kids and he wants this and that. Like, his view and opinion literally changes like that. Like, it probably doesn't sound like it, but they're not together like throughout the whole book. They were together from the beginning, and then like for like a good chunk in the middle they weren't even seeing each other. They went together, and then all of a sudden they're back together and he wants to get married. And it's just, it doesn't, to me, nobody changes their mind and opinion that quickly, especially when he was with people already, even like with other people during that time that they went together, and she was gonna get married. Like, it just doesn't, you know what I mean? It just doesn't. I haven't given any spoilers, guys, because obviously I haven't told you any of the incident accidents and obviously the whole lot of it, but yeah, I thoroughly did not enjoy this book at all. I don't honestly know how I got through it, to be fair. I won't lie. But I then did read Love in Colour by Bolu, Babalola. I really hope I said your name right, I'm sorry if I didn't. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. This one is a collective of short stories by this author, and they all represent and are around the black community and like love between them and like the world. And I just really enjoyed this one. There were some that really made me cry. Like, there was one I was in tears. There's some that had me laughing. There were some again that had me angry. Like, I really recommend reading this one if you guys haven't read this one before. Like I said, it's a bunch of short stories. I practically read it in one day. It's so easy to read. Like, it's so quick and easy, and the stories are nice, good length. And the good thing about them, which was a worry of mine, with them being short stories, I worried that they were going to go really fast, not make sense and be quite jumpy. That was my worry. Like, with short stories, because they're trying to get all the information and facts and the plot through in such a short amount of time, I worried it wasn't going to flow, but completely these did. These did not feel rushed at all. It felt like it all just was so smoothly and you getting the entire stories. And yeah, I highly recommend reading this one, guys, if you have not read it already. I highly recommend reading it. The next one I read, which wasn't on my TBR at all, and the only reason I read it is because I went to my aunt and uncle's on Saturday, just been in Wales. I only took Love in Colour with me because I thought, oh, I'm not going to read it all while I'm there, like, I don't need to take another book with me. I did read it all. I should have taken another book with me, but I didn't. But luckily my aunt had books and she gave me this one. along with some more which are down there, which I will be added into the book haul. Yeah, I actually read this one whilst I was there as well, in the few hours I was there. This again is a short one, 200 something pages, and the writing is really big, guys, so it flows through. It is part of a series, but so I may pick up the other books, I may not. I'm undecided on that one. But I actually gave it a 3.75. Like, it's good, it was enjoyable, but there's a lot that goes on just in this one book. There's a lot that goes on, and there was the occasional funny moment to make dark situations light, but on the whole, yeah, it was good and it's enjoyable. And if you want a quick and easy read, highly recommend reading it. Like I said, it was still good. It just, there was a lot going on to it, and it just felt a little crammed into, obviously to a short book, it felt a little bit crammed. But yeah, other than that, I did enjoy it. Like, this is how big that series is. And I read the book that's all the way down here. So that's all the books I have not read. But I don't feel, it obviously follows different things, and I don't really feel like you need to read them. You can't just read the one book, because there's little acknowledgements of things that have happened in the past, but they're not physically discussed to the point where you feel like you've missed out and you need to read the other books before it. So this can be read as a standalone. Oh, that pile of books is getting big. The last one I have is The Dartmoor Murders by Stephanie Austen, which is 4.5 stars. I've read it in the entirety yesterday. I finished reading it yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. Like, to start with, I was thinking, oh, this, you know, it's going to sit somewhere between a 3 and a 4. Like, it's okay. Like, again, this is the 4th book in a series. I did check, frankly, it won't affect the reading order. You can read them in any order at all. Again, there's acknowledgements of things that have happened, so it's like that. But yeah, I was sat on a 3 and a 4 until like the last half, and then things got really good. Like, there were bits, yeah, I had little inklings of what's going to happen. I had little ideas, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be what's going to happen here, that's fine, like, this is how this person connected. And then in other times, something completely came out of the water, like, no idea at all, no hints, nothing. There was no suggestions that this person was involved in anything of something that happened in it. And I was like, oh my god, like, we hadn't even like really met the character. Like, we'd heard of the character, but we hadn't met them, and there was no like suggestion at all. And I'm like, oh my god, I was not expecting that. I literally like dropped, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not expecting that. And then, guys, there's someone that appears, a bit of a stranger, and this woman, Juno's getting to know him a little bit, you know, asking why he's around and stuff. And, you know, we don't really find out a lot about him. And, you know, I'm sat there thinking, oh yeah, something's not right about this guy, something's not right. And then, oh my god, guys, he was not right at all. He was not right at all. Literally, in like the last bit, where was it? Let me see. It's literally like in this last like bit. Yeah. It's like in that bit that we find out who done it all, what, everything, and the real reason he's there. Guys, I kid you not, I dropped the book in shock. I was like, oh my god. I won't repeat the exact words that I said, but I was just like, oh my god, this is so good, guys. I so highly recommend reading it. I really, really do. Yeah, I finished off this month pretty much on a high. I am filming this the morning this is going up, so I am still reading Run Rose Run. That book will probably be finished before the end of this month, but what I'll do is I'll include it in my March wrap up, so you guys can see my thoughts and opinions on that one then. And I'm also listening to Blackout by Jennette Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, and a bunch of other authors, so that one again will be included in my March wrap up too. But yeah, that is all 22 books that I've read this month, because I'm including Run Rose Run and Blackout into that, guys. Obviously, like I said, I know I said it will be included in my March wrap up, but they will be finished in the next like 48 hours. So yeah, I'm like, that was a good read amount. Considering I had to roll 3 books over, I still managed to read a lot, and I'm so proud of myself on that one, because the month did start off rough, and I was in a bit of a slump, but the second half I've just like whipped them out. So yeah, but obviously no matter how many books you read, it's still good. You do your own thing. This is just what I read in a month. Obviously you do your own thing, you read what you read, and that as well, and obviously have your own views and opinions. So like I said, these are my views that are in this video and in any video I make. So you may enjoy a book that I may not like, and I may enjoy a book that you may not like. So that is the joy of reading. It is so subjective to people's opinions. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, because I've been rambling for the last like 25 minutes, and I need to edit this and get it uploaded for today. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Let me know how many books you've read this month. Let me know how many books you're going to be reading next month, or hoping to read next month. And don't forget, you can join us over in the Wolf Pack, where next month we will be reading Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. So I'm so excited to read that one and to read it with my book club. So yeah, don't forget to join us, links in the bio. Don't forget also the link in the to my website. The new official licensed Accra merch is now launched as well, so you guys can go and check that out. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. You guys have a good day, night, dust storm, wherever you are. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, all the fun YouTuber stuff, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Don't forget to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good